Hello and welcome back to Hot at Home, Your Questions Answered. Today I've got an email from Margaret who asks me this question, which I find fascinating, some of the advice she's been given already. I have a very short torso, so have not got much of a waist. Between the bottom rib and the top of my hip bone is just over an inch. How can I create more of a waist, and which exercises do I need to avoid so as I do not thicken the muscles here more? A personal trainer told me to lift heavy weights and then do side bends. Like hold the weights in my hands and drop my hands down towards my feet. Holding a weight in your hand and dropping your hand to the side, or you're bending at the side to drop the weight towards the ground. But I thought that would make the problem worse. Margaret, you're right. That was really bad advice. Doing side bends will actually build up the muscle in your sides. So if you're wanting a narrower waist, you're doing the exact opposite of what you want to achieve. What you're going to wind up doing is creating more of a boxy look. You'll wind up building a muscle between your rib and your hip, and it'll just be straight down between your hip and your rib. So what you probably want to do instead is, that's not a lot of space to work with, unfortunately. But what you can try doing is doing vacuums. It's one of the exercises that I recommend in my program, Hot at Home. But very quickly, I'll just explain it to you here. What you do is you do it standing, or you can do it on all fours as well. Or you can even do it sitting, really, if you're sitting properly and you're not slouching or anything like that. But I like to do it standing because then I can look in a mirror and watch myself. I usually lift my shirt up and watch myself do it when I'm doing it, to make sure I'm doing it really hard. But what you're supposed to be doing is basically suck your gut in as hard as you can and try and get your belly button to touch your spine, and hold it for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I like doing 20 seconds or 30 seconds. I usually do 5 times 30, and then I do 5 more times 20 seconds. All in like sort of one long set with just like a minute break in between. But hold it in as hard as you can. You should be able to breathe and talk normally while you're doing it, but you should be really, really, really pulling hard on all your stomach muscles to try and pull your belly button towards your spine. Be careful if you're doing it on all fours. One good thing about doing it that way is you're working against gravity, so you're working a little harder. But the bad thing about it is people tend to hunch their spine up. In trying to get the belly button to touch their spine, they'll hunch their spine up into a curve like this. And no, you keep your spine as straight as possible and concentrate on only sucking your gut in, and not bending, hunching at the hips or at your shoulders or along your spine. Keep everything flat. Was there something else I wanted to say about this? I can't really remember now. But yeah, we're doing vacuums. What it'll do, a lot of people, when they're doing a lot of core work as well, they will puff out their gut while they're doing the work. So if they're doing crunches or they're doing squat, deadlifts or something like that, full body moves that work their core, they might tend to puff their belly out while they're doing it, which is incorrect. You're supposed to keep your belly sucked in and stable, keep your core stable at all times. But what can happen is you can wind up working your core muscles and working them to be puffed out, which makes your stomach look even bigger, because now you're working your muscles to be naturally puffed out. When you're doing vacuums, you're training against that. So you're training your stomach muscles to be sucked in, and so eventually it becomes a natural way to stand. It actually really helps your posture as well. But it becomes a natural way to stand and a natural way to hold yourself and your posture and hold your stomach as well, that you're always just sucking it in naturally. It just becomes second nature after a while. That's just the way I hold my stomach as well. I almost never slouch it out. I never slouch it out because I've trained my stomach to be concave, and that's from doing vacuums, as well as really concentrating when I'm doing my core work and my full body moves, to not let my stomach puff out while I'm doing the move. I'm always holding it in and making it concave and keeping everything stable and supported while I'm doing those moves. So try vacuums. Try giving vacuums a try. Like I said, you can do them sitting, standing, or on all fours. Again, I like to do them standing and looking in a mirror with my shirt pulled up, so that I can look at myself and look at my abs while I'm doing it, and I don't lose concentration. And I've got a timer in my hand, so I don't lose concentration. I'm watching what I'm doing. Some people like to do it while they're driving, or some people like to do it while they're in the kitchen, whatever, save some time. They don't have to do it during their workout. But for me, I lose focus almost immediately. If I'm chopping vegetables while I'm doing it, I stop thinking about my stomach and I start thinking about my vegetables. Or if I'm driving, then I'm thinking what I should be thinking about, and that's the road. You don't want to get in an accident. So I do it standing in front of a mirror with a timer, looking at myself while I'm doing it, and I find that that's the best way to get it done properly. So I hope that really helps you out. And yeah, don't listen to the trainer that told you to do side bends, but go ahead and lift heavy weights. That won't, yeah, that'll give you great shapely arms and other body parts. But when it comes to core work, don't do side bends if you want a narrower waist. All right, so I hope that really helped you out, and we'll see you guys again soon. Take care.